Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
Yeah, well, I don't think you heard my point. The San Francisco Giants have 3 more in the 2010s than the Rangers have in their entire history. So, yeah.
It's hard to get back and to get back-to-back wins, and I don't see the Lightning doing it here, so I have them losing to the Hurricanes in 6.
We don't talk about the 2010s because the 2010s had the Astros, and if the Astros didn't happen, the Yankees would have won in 2017 with the Dodgers.
He was close to Frank Reich, and they want Frank Reich back, so that's what they got. It's their discount Frank Reich.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew, Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more.
Hi, this is Julie Dobbs. You're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man that is on the other side of football. His team is above 500, does well with a backup quarterback, can generate wide receivers out of nowhere. Austin.
Yeah. What a performance from CD. What a comeback, honestly. I thought they could have turned it around and won the game. Once they got the ball back, Kevin, I thought that they were going to do it, but obviously that's not how it turned out. And now they're below 500 at 3-4. And the question that I ask to you is, as a Cowboys fan, do you feel that they are doomed, or is there still hope that they can make the playoffs to make something of the season?
I don't think there's really anything to make sense of the season. It would have been cool if they come back, and I just didn't believe in it because those 2 touchdowns, 2 blown coverages, and their offense, they don't have the players right now. The roster is not good. Dak is not playing well, but it's hard. I think we are both in agreement that Dak is above average quarter. He's a good quarterback in the NFL, but he needs weapons around him. Every quarterback does, even Mahomes, but the only weapon right now is CD, and Jalen Tolbert's your number 2. I think Jalen Tolbert's a solid wide receiver, but he shouldn't be your 2. Defenses don't fear him. Their running game is terrible. It's the worst in the league in yards per carry, and I want to say yards. So they just don't have it. The offensive line has 2 rookies. This is just something I think that's happened as I've been thinking about it this season. They're really not going to make the playoff. I'd be shocked if they made the playoffs. And even if they do, they're not going to play well against these guys. Because the thing with the Cowboys is, and I think great teams as well, or teams that compete, you have to make the right decisions to keep them going. I'm trying to think of a team that has been if you look at the Eagles, they're still looking for a playoff spot. They're a team that goes out, replenishes in the draft, hits on their picks. Same thing with Chiefs to that extent. Trying to think of the Ravens as well. They always make it work. So that, to me, the Cowboys just do not have the players right now, and that's because they didn't really do anything in free agency. What do you think?
It's free agency, but I do think that coaching is a part of it. I know that I've been on the he should be fired side of Mike McCarthy for a little bit now. But I think coaching has to be part of the problem. Do you not think so?
No, coaching is the problem. Is part of the problem as well. I think it's just the roster is not good. The coaching is not good. If they should have fired Mike McCarthy after the postseason loss, because it's just what is there left to do? I do think he was better than Garrett. He's a guy that does great. He established consistent regular season success.
Sure, but he hasn't even made it as far as Garrett did.
True, in the playoffs, yes.
Yeah.
Garrett to me had that variability. Mike McCarthy seems to be a level coach, but it just doesn't work in the postseason. They should have done a new voice, done a lot, but they didn't. So coaching would help this offense, because to me, this offense is stuck in when Mike McCarthy was a great play caller in 2009. I still believe in Deuce Vaughn. I do think he can be because when you look at the Niners, they're a team that gets players open, but they do have great players as well. To me, that's something the Cowboys need. You can maybe design plays to get Turpin the ball and just help your offense, but you can't do, and I think we're seeing this with the Jets too, you just can't put guys and go, hey, beat this guy, because that's not where the league is right now. It's past that.
Yeah. Do you think that McCarthy is fired before the season ends?
I don't think so. Great Cowboys writer Bob Stern talked about it 2 weeks ago after the Lions game. It looks like Jerry doesn't want to get rid of McCarthy. He kind of wants McCarthy to sit in this. And
does that mean that he may return?
No, I don't think so. I think McCarthy gets fired at the end of the season. I'd be surprised.
Do you think if they somehow make the playoffs, he's still fired? If they lose the wild card game?
I think he's fired no matter what. I think the primary reason Jerry Jones isn't firing McCarthy is so every week as the Cowboys just do not play well, the Cowboys are getting talked about. Are they going to fire Mike McCarthy? That's the main reason I think Jerry's like, no. Because
just for clicks.
Yeah, just for clicks. Because that's, if you look at it too, that's the whole thing with the Dak and CD contract. Nothing really different came from that. CD and Dak won those deals. And they could have gotten Derrick Henry. They couldn't at the time because they didn't have money. They had to allocate money to Dak and CD. But if you pay those contracts, you move some things around, money appears, and you can pay Derrick Henry. And he wouldn't have fixed the offense, but the rushing offense would not be last in the league. You could have brought back Tyron Smith. I do think Tyler Guyton's good. To me, this team will be good because I think Dak's a good quarterback. CD's, of course, great. You have Micah. Lawrence is still good, but they're all injured. I just think they're a team that relies only on the draft. So they got to hit on their picks, which they do have a history of doing. Mozzie is probably not going to be a good pick. It's going to be viewed as a bust. You have Taco Charlton, but all the other first-round picks have produced NFL players. The only one is questionable is Guyton, but I think Guyton moves to right tackle in the future.
Okay. Are you worried at all about the Micah situation?
No, honestly, I would rather just keep him out. I also think this is another thing Bob Sturm's brought up in the Sturm stack is Zach Martin has not played well. Zach Martin might be dealing with an injury because you can tell that right side is not good anymore on that offensive line with the Cowboys. Terrence Steele is not good. He just hasn't rebounded from that injury. And then Zach Martin is not doing well. I would almost just rest Martin and just kind of almost tank the season. You still try to win, but it wouldn't be tanking because this roster is not good. There are holes. There's holes at running back. There's holes at wide receiver. If you go on the defensive side, there's defensive linemen, linebackers, corner. Trevon is not playing well. Trevon looks like he quit on the team. Have you seen his tackles? He wasn't a great tackler before, but I'm sure, seen the clips of him, especially the Kittle one from the Niners game. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
Okay. Basically, Trevon Diggs is doing if he can avoid a tackle or make it look like he's trying to tackle but not actually tackle, he's doing that. It's just, you can see him. George Kittle, when he's running close to the pylon, Trevon's basically following him. Even though you can see Kittle has caught the ball, Trevon still stays with his man. So it's really corner, safety. There are just a lot of holes that it's going to take a little bit. I do think BB gets better. I do think the offensive line gets better, just not this season. Same thing with wide receiver. I think they just need new guys.
So to answer the question, are the Cowboys doomed?
For this season, yes. I don't think they're going to be terrible over the next few years. I just think it comes a point, given how the draft is, you're not getting top players anymore. And you got to hit on your picks, but you also have to replenish in free agency. That, to me, is what separates great teams from good teams. Good teams, you do well when you're in the top 10, top 15, because they got Micah. I'm trying to think. CD, I want to say was like pick 18 or something.
He was. Where was CD? He was like
I wanna
18
say
or
it was-
19.
Yeah, he was in the middle. So when you're in the middle, you can get better. But teams start to make good trades, and if you're not going to trade for anyone and not really do anything, even though problems have been pointed out with your running defense last season, this is what's going to happen. You're just going to have to ride through this season and wait for guys to develop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely worried about the Cowboys. I think they have a lot of holes, like you mentioned. I mean, you're more well versed in that area than I am, but we'll see what they can do. See if they can turn around. We'll see if that can actually be worth the amount of money that he's being paid, or if it's just going to be a waste.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a waste for this season because he's just not that guy that he can't make the weapons better. And even his turnovers have been terrible this season. So I would say number one reason is probably GM, even though we've already talked about Jerry. There is coaching because I think a coaching staff could make this team better and sort of an attitude, but they don't really have that. It's just kind of they all know what's going to happen. I am sure Mike McCarthy knows. Yeah, I'm not making it after this season, so he's just really coaching every day for his job, and yeah, it's a lot. But I'll let you close this one out.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please let us know what you guys think about the Cowboys, how they will end the season, and how they will play next year. Thank you again.